In the stories we tell, what happens when the basic laws of nature just stop? Today, we're diving into 4 absolutely incredible accounts where the physical world itself was commanded to change, leading to some truly mind-bending miracles. But before we get into the stories, let's just chew on this for a second. Can something without a mind, like a knife or a fire, actually choose to obey an order? Can a wild animal running on pure instinct decide to do the exact opposite of what it was born to do? Well, we're about to look at 4 powerful stories where that very question gets put to the test. And while each one is totally different, they all point to this single profound idea about how the world we see might really work. Okay, let's get into our first sign. It's all about one of the most simple, everyday tools you can imagine, a knife. But in this story, this simple tool becomes the center of a huge test of faith. The story is about Prophet Ismail. His father, Prophet Ibrahim, was commanded to sacrifice him, which, you have to admit, is the ultimate act of submission. It's an unbelievably intense moment of trial for both of them. So here's where it gets really interesting. A knife has one job, right? To cut. Its entire physical existence is designed to do that one thing. But in this moment, it's given a direct order from above to do the complete opposite. And right then, in that critical moment, a higher will just overrode physical law. The blade wouldn't cut. The test of faith was passed, and Prophet Ismail was spared. Incredible. Now for our second story, which takes this whole idea and dials it up a notch. We're moving from a simple tool to one of nature's most powerful, most destructive forces, fire. And this story is actually about Prophet Ibrahim himself. Because of his beliefs, his people threw him into a massive fire as punishment. This was supposed to be a sure thing, a terrible, certain death. And you can see the same principle at work here, but on a massive scale. What does fire do? It burns. It consumes. That's just physics. But the command it was given went against its very essence: become cool, become safe. And the sources say the fire obeyed instantly. So instead of being an instrument of death, it became a place of safety. It protected Prophet Ibrahim from any harm while he was right there in the middle of it. All right, our third story takes us from these inanimate forces right into the animal kingdom. We're talking about a huge fish, a creature that's supposed to be driven entirely by instinct. This is the story of Prophet Yunus. He gets thrown off a ship into a stormy sea and is immediately swallowed by a giant fish. Now, in the normal course of things, that's it, right? Game over. Think about it. What does a predator do? It swallows and digests its prey. That's just biology 101. But this fish was given a completely different set of instructions. Don't act like a predator, act like a protector, a safe haven. So the main thing to get here is that the command essentially rewrote the fish's natural programming. Prophet Yunus was kept totally safe inside and then delivered back to land, completely unharmed. For our final sign, we're scaling up even bigger. We're moving from a single animal to a massive force of nature, a huge body of water that was standing in the way as an impossible obstacle. This is that famous, epic story of Prophet Musa and his people. They're on the run from an army, and suddenly they're trapped at the water's edge. There's literally nowhere to go. A giant river is, it's a barrier. It flows. You can't just walk across it. The command given to it was to basically defy gravity and physics and create a dry path where a path could not possibly exist. And just like that, it did. The waters split open, creating this perfect corridor for them to escape. And as soon as Prophet Musa and his people were safely across, the water crashed back down, sealing the path behind them. So what's the big idea here? What's the one thing that connects a knife, a fire, a fish, and a river? Well, every single one of them, whether it was a man-made tool, an element, an animal, or a huge body of water, was supposed to be a source of harm or an obstacle. But instead, each one acted against its fundamental nature to become an agent of protection at the exact moment it was needed. The single thread that ties all of this together is this concept of Allah's command. It's the idea that a divine will has total authority over the physical world. So the laws of nature that we know, they aren't the final word. They're subject to a higher order.
And a miracle, in this way of thinking, isn't about breaking the rules. It's about a direct order from the one who made the rules in the first place.
And that leaves us with one last, pretty profound question to think about. If a knife and fire and a fish and a river can all obey a divine command that goes against their very being, then what does that say about us?